Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of The Sauce. Took yesterday off from making videos. It was much needed. Combination of I was getting rocked last week, and I just needed a day where I wasn't staring at my computer screen. The bets we gave out yesterday, MLB was actually in the green. It's like plus 0.16 or something, slightly in the green. NBA finished in the red. We won the Sixers, but lost the Nuggets and the over. That was minus 0.81. But it's a new week, and goddamn, we needed a new week. We needed this clean slate. Let's get back to what we were doing in April. We were doing so well for most of this playoffs. The NBA first round we killed. Let's get back to that. Just a quick update. Second game just ended. We had a green night. Went 4-2-1. Actually went 0-1-1 against the spread, but both props hit the total in the Knicks. Hit a team total in the second game. So, hey, we'll take it. It wasn't a monster night, but green is green.
Welcome to the Sauce. The Sauce. Sauce. Hey, get the sauce.
First up, Sixers at Celtics. Game 5. The series is tied 2-2. Line opened up Celtics minus 7.5. Total opens up at 214.5. Public is all over the Celtics as expected. Coming back to Boston with the series tied. You already know that the public was going to be at Boston. Seems like the odds makers knew that the public was going to be on Boston too, pinning this line up at 7.5. Line actually drops though. Opens up at 7.5. It's down to Boston minus 7 now. So quick look back at game 4. Obviously Philly squeaks out the win in overtime. And I got to say, thank God they did. Because if the Sixers lost that game, Joel Embiid would be facing some harsh criticism right now for what happened in the fourth quarter and overtime. He was not good at all. And I'm not just talking about his box score either. I mean, if you watch that game, Al Horford blocked his shot twice. Blocked 2 of his shots. And then after that, there were 2 instances where Embiid got the ball like 11 to 14 feet from the basket. Boston didn't bring a double team over. Did not bring a second defender. Embiid had a one-on-one look versus Al Horford, 36-year-old Al Horford, who can play defense. I'm not trying to disrespect Al Horford, but still, this is the MVP. What does he do? He passes out of the one-on-one look. Now, props to PJ Tucker for making a huge play on the offensive glass. Props to James Harden for having another amazing game, similar to what he did in game 1. Sixers pull out the win. Now, the question becomes, because now we're looking at game 5, right? So, how do we process that information when Embiid did in the fourth quarter? Because, you know, a lot of people are going to be like, yo, Embiid doesn't have it right now. He's still hurt. You can't trust Embiid in the playoffs. He's a fraud MVP. You know, all that's going around right now. You know how crazy NBA Twitter is. Personally, I'm kind of taking it the opposite way. Joel Embiid has always struck me as kind of like an edgy guy, like kind of like Kevin Durant in a sense where you don't want to, he plays his best basketball when he feels slighted. Like, you don't want him to get pissed off. If you remember, I said something similar before game 3 because Philly won game 1 without Embiid, that Embiid came back in game 2, didn't play well, and the Sixers lost. And of course, there was the Twitter idiots. Oh, you got to bench Embiid. Philly's better without him. Like, crazy. But Embiid heard that criticism. So what did I say? I was like, yo, we're taking Embiid's over in game 3. And he flew over that total. Now, I also bet Philly, and Philly didn't cover. But Embiid was noticeably more aggressive in that game. I think we're looking at a very similar situation here in game 5. Now, want to know what makes it worse? Now, it wasn't just that Embiid kind of folded in the fourth quarter, passed out of one-on-one looks, because that all happened, and that was bad. It was a bad look. But then the dude he won the MVP award over goes off in the game, in the time slot right after him. Jokic had like 50 points, 10 assists. It's like the first player in playoff history to do that shit. So that's definitely made it worse. And Joel Embiid is hearing this criticism, and I already know he's coming out aggressive in game 5, which is why I think the officiating is such a huge factor in this game. If Embiid is going to get his calls, and we all know the calls I'm referring to, if Embiid's going to get those calls, I think Philly keeps this close. In fact, I think the Sixers could beat them. I think the Sixers straight up beat the Celtics in Boston if Embiid's getting those calls. Now, if Embiid isn't getting those calls, I think Boston wins by 10, 15 plus. But judging by what we've seen in this series so far, Joel Embiid has been getting those calls. So when he comes out aggressive as hell in game 5, he's going to get to the free throw line. Al Horford / Grant Williams might get themselves into some foul trouble. In my opinion, it's only a matter of time before the Celtics are forced, before Joe Mazzulla is forced to bring a second defender over and double team Embiid. And we've all seen what happens with the 76ers offense when you start double teaming Embiid. When you give guys like James Harden, Tyrese Maxey, when you give those guys space to work, the 76ers offense is the best in basketball. I'm not just talking opinionated. It's literally on paper. They were the best offense, highest offensive efficiency in basketball since the All-Star break. That's what happens when you double team Embiid. So yeah, I'm going to take Joel Embiid's over, because you know who else has seen all the analytics of the Sixers offense when you double team Embiid? Joe Mazzulla. He doesn't want to double team Embiid. I'm saying Joel Embiid is going to perform at a level where he's forced to. So that means he should get a shitload of points from the free throw line before it gets there. So I'm taking Joel Embiid over 28.5 points. I'm also going to take the points with Philly. I'm hoping we don't see another blowout. Give me Philadelphia +7. I'm also going to play the over at 214.5. So those are my 3 bets for this one. Let's move on to the next game. Phoenix Suns at Denver, Game 5, series tied, same situation. Line opens up Denver -4. Public is all over Denver, same situation. Coming off a loss in Game 4, back home in Denver. Everyone's betting the Nuggets, same as they are the Celtics. Line moves from this time in this game. The line actually moves the correct way though. Line moves from 4 up to Denver -5. Now before Game 4, what did I say? I said I'm betting the Nuggets +2.5 in Game 4 because there's no way Devin Booker shoots 80% from the floor again. That's what I said. And I was right. Devin Booker didn't shoot 80% from the floor again. He shot 78%. Like, what an asshole move for this guy to just continue to make shots at this rate. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like it. So again, I'm saying, you know what? Let me ask, I want to ask you a question actually. Do you expect Devin Booker to shoot 80% from the floor again? Because I feel like that's what this game comes down to. Devin Booker is playing the best playoff basketball maybe we've seen anyone play in a 2-game stretch. That might be a reach, but I've never seen anything like this before from a wing scorer. And the fact remains that Phoenix is still struggling to get these wins. They had to, both games 3 and game 3 and game 4 in Phoenix came down to the last few minutes. So I ask you, do you expect Devin Booker to do it again, a third time? Because that's what they're going to need. That's what they've needed. Especially back in Denver now, where the Nuggets have been monsters all season. This is one of the best home teams in the NBA. Jamal Murray has noticeably better numbers at home than he does on the road. He's got really good splits at home. Phoenix clearly doesn't have an answer for Jokic on the defensive end. DeAndre Ayton can't hang with them. I thought Jock Landale did a decent job of with his minutes, but he can't stop him either. Honestly, I'm frustrated even talking about this game because I feel like the question is, are you willing to bet that Devin Booker shoots 80% from the floor again? Are you willing to bet that Devin Booker and Kevin Durant combine for 90 points? I'm not saying they're incapable, but given the choice, especially now that they're on the road, I'm going to bet no. I'm going to continue to bet no, that's not going to happen. Yeah, did I lose 2 games in a row? I did. But, that's not how basketball works. You don't do that every single night. There's just no way Devin Booker can continue to perform at this level. By the way, I'm not saying I think Devin Booker's going to play badly. In games 1 and 2 in Denver, he was great. He was 24 of 48, 31 points a game, shot over 44% from 3. He played great in games 1 and 2. Suns lost both those games by double digits. So basically, the question is, and I know I've said this like 3 times, do you think Devin Booker is going to be Michael Jordan again? And for the 3rd time, I have to say no. So yes, I am on the Nuggets. Give me Denver -5. Even if Kevin Durant and Devin Booker both have solid games, I still think Denver covers this. I expect Jamal Murray to put up a pretty solid performance like he usually does at home. As far as the total, I was playing the seesaw in this series. I went over in game 1, cash, under in game 2, cash, over in game 3, cash, but then I went under in game 4 and it wasn't even close. I'm not sure if I could play unders in these series after what I just saw, but I guess I would probably lean under, but I honestly, I don't think I'm going to bet the total here. I might add it to the ticket later. I also don't have any player props written for this one. If off the top of my head, I would say Jamal Murray's over, just because he averages 2 more points a game, 2 whole points a game at home in comparison to on the road this year. always plays better at home. So I would go Jamal Murray's over maybe. But honestly, I'm just saying Jamal Murray's over. I haven't even looked at it yet. That's just off the top of my head what I would do. If anything changes with any of these bets, I will let you know on Twitter. So give me a follow there if you're interested. Also, if you want the final tickets, which has exactly what I'm betting, how much I'm betting on each, like half unit, full unit, I put all that information there. Also, I build a same game parlay for every playoff game. We were hot as hell with those, but then we gone cold in the last week. Hopefully we can cash one or two of those coming up. If you're interested in that stuff, head over to KyleKirms.com. All right, NBA Tuesday, 2 playoff games. Let's have ourselves a good night, and I'll talk to you on Twitter.